Hi students, so let's make a fantasy map. So what I chose for my fantasy map, my story, is that this is going to be what's called the Isle of the Purple Dragon. So the whole idea for the story of this island is that there is an ancient dragon that lives on the island, and just his presence has turned everything in the island purple. I know, totally ridiculous, but something fun and silly like that can be a perfect little short story that you can make up to make your map. So, everything on the island, I'm going to give it variant names that have to do with purple. And that is the whole concept and idea of the mountain. I drew originally just a quick sketch here, and what we're going to do together is just go over with a Sharpie here and fill in some of the details. Okay, so first, like we talked about in the directions actually on canvas, you come up with a story. So I did that already. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the border. So I'm going to draw the border in first, and my border is going to also include some other small islands. So here we go. Just going to quickly put in the border. I'm making my lines nice and squiggly here because this island is small. The mountain's actually coming up over the border. So I'm going to add that in. That. And if you are making an island or a landform, don't be afraid to make the lines squiggly. Add some really super irregular shapes into all of it. Okay, here we go, coming around the outside to finish my border. So basically all the borders are going to be some type of beach because mine's an island. If yours is not an island, yours is a landform, and all you're seeing is land, but the borders are maybe some mountains, for example, then obviously you won't have any of that. All right, so this section of my map, I'm making a swamp area, and so it is a swamp that is right up next to the ocean, actually just like the Florida Everglades, one of our states in the US, has a really big giant swamp that goes right into the ocean. All right, coming around, and there is our border. All right, so now let's start thinking about some of the details, the important things. So I already started what will be kind of the central focus, these mountains right here. So I already drew those in. So I just need to copy those. Okay, there's my mountains. I'm going to draw a third one right here. Just a little guy right in front. Okay, now what I'm going to do is on the top of this mountain, I'm going to leave a ledge. And that, my friends, is where the dragon is going to sleep. Okay, so I'm going to write next to it. I'm going to use pencil first to make sure that it's easily written correctly. A good way to keep yourself from spelling things incorrectly. The Purple Dragon's Lair. I'm going to go ahead and put an underline underneath it. That's an important spot. Okay. Over here, now we've got the mountains, and I'm going to, of course, come up with a name for them. I'm going to start adding some of the other important places in here. Here is a big lake. So that lake is filling up with water from the mountains. And from that lake, I'm going to put a little river. It makes its way to the coastline. All right, now the swamp. I'm going to put a whole bunch of little tiny dots of water, little waterways, to show that this is all swampy area, swampy land that is mostly full of water. Okay. That should be good there. Okay. Cool. And yet again, I'm going to name the swamp something as well. Right next to the river, right here, I'm going to draw a little symbol. And that little symbol is going to kind of look like a little castle, because I want that to look like another little landmark, an important place on my map. Okay, perfect. So you'll continue adding details, you'll name things if you want to, and then finally, when you're done with all that, you'll make sure that you have all the other little details. Maybe there are things that are less important to your map. For example, this little castle, this little city is really important, so that's why I drew it in this step. But now after that, I could perhaps add some trees in various places. I can come back in and add these islands that were on the outside edges. These aren't as important to the whole picture, so I didn't add them in originally. And then I can color it in. So I'm going to stop the video here. I don't want to make it too long for you guys, but I'll post a picture of my completed map so you have another good example of things you can follow. I think that I'm going to draw a small tiny dragon flying above my island right here. It's got to be purple, right? The Isle of the Purple Dragon. So, like I said, guys, have fun with this project. It's really just kind of a fun exercise, coming up with a story and then making a map to go along with that story. All right, have fun. We'll talk to you soon.